Hello Eurovision fans, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. Today I want to continue my detailed voting analysis. I will look at the countries that came 7th to 26th in the final. I've already done a video on the top 6, so check that out if you haven't seen it. And like last time, I will use maps to show you where a country's points actually came from and what kinds of conclusions we can draw from that. The first country I want to look at is Belgium, because they came 7th with Gustav and because of you. And you have this jury results here. He got 12 points from Australia and Greece. And this, I said this in the last video, is most surprising to me, kind of the most surprising result in all of Eurovision this year. The Georgian jury gave him 12 points, which was really, really cool. He also got 10 points from Ireland and then quite some good points from Lithuania and Estonia as well, from Portugal, but also from the UK, from Spain, from Poland, all over the place really in the juries. He got points from all over Europe. However, if we look at the televote, the picture is a bit different. Look at this. All of his points, except for maybe Slovenia and Australia, are from Western Europe. There's a clear divide here between Western Europe and Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe completely in red except for Slovenia, if you want to count that as Eastern Europe. He got 10 points from the Netherlands, good points, 6 or 7 from Norway, Denmark, the UK and Iceland, and then smaller points from Germany, France, Portugal and Spain. So that is why he did much better in the jury actually than in the televote, but he did better than anyone expected, I think. Now, in 8th place, we had Estonia, which got a very healthy jury result, as you can see here. 12 points from neighbors Latvia, but also good points, 10 points from Germany, from Switzerland, from Slovenia, and also 8 points from Romania, Albania, and Poland. So quite a good result in the juries. However, if we go to the televote, Europe turns red quite a bit, and most of her points, actually almost all of her points, are from the Baltics and neighbor Finland, and then a few from the Netherlands, but otherwise she really relied on support from the Baltic countries and their neighbor Finland. I think the closer we get to the bottom of these results and the less successful countries, the more influence and the more prevalence you will see for neighborhood and friendship votes. However, in many cases, you can also explain that with cultural similarities or simply the artist being a star in the other countries as well. Let's look at number 9, which was Australia. They got quite a few points from the juries, especially 12 points from Portugal and Iceland, 10 points from the UK, 8 from Germany, Ukraine, and Estonia. However, again, in this case, if we turn to the televote, Europe turns red. They got very few points from the UK, from Iceland, from Norway, and the Netherlands, and their best result was 8 points from Finland and 6 or 7 points from Estonia. But otherwise, they didn't do that well. Quite surprisingly in a way, because it was a catchy rock song, but maybe, and we will get to that when we get to Germany, for example, there might have been too many rock songs in this final for one of them to stand out, especially in the televote. Let's go to the next country. In 10th place, we had Czechia. And you can see in the jury vote, they got 12 points from Switzerland. The Swiss seem to be all for anti-war songs and support Ukraine songs in a way. 8 points from Finland, the Netherlands, and then good points also from Ukraine, interestingly, because people were kind of saying that this song was promoting Slavic sisterhood, which was a Soviet propaganda tool. But the Ukrainian jury did like this song, and so did Portugal, Italy, Iceland, and it got kind of smaller points from lots of places, but most of the red you can see is actually in Eastern Europe, and when we go to the televote, it looks completely different, which is really interesting. It's not a lot of points that they got, but most of their points actually came from Eastern Europe. Not that surprising, they had members from different countries, they sang in 4 different Slavic languages, but I find it really interesting that in the jury vote, we will look at it again here, It's very mixed and varied, and then in the televote, they get most of it from Eastern Europe. However, also 10 points from Finland. They really liked it, and quite a few points from Serbia as well. Let's go to the 11th place, which is Lithuania, and we look at the jury results first. 10 points from Ukraine, 8 points, 10 points also from Australia, 8 points from the UK and Slovenia, also good points from San Marino, and also quite some points from Georgia. Not that many, to be honest, from the Baltic neighbors, Latvia and Estonia. But let's look at the televote. And here, again, I have to say that it's quite diaspora-driven, maybe. You know that I love this song, and I do think that lots of people voted for it because the song was really nice. But you can see that Ireland and the UK gave it 10 points, and there are huge numbers of Lithuanians living in these two countries. You also have 10 points from Latvia, and then some points from Poland, Ukraine, and Estonia, and then also from Georgia. And maybe some of my subscribers who are Lithuanians can explain to me why Georgia usually gives Lithuania points and Lithuania gives points to Georgia. I think there's some historical reason for that. I would be really interested in that. But here you can see people love the song, but this is also a bit influenced by diaspora, I would say. Even though I thought that in the UK it wouldn't be as big as usually because way more people watched the final this year. Let's go to number 12, which is Cyprus. One very surprising result, maybe even more surprising than the 12 points from Georgia to Belgium, is that the Greek jury gave Andrew Lambrou a total of 4 points, when usually Greece gives Cyprus at least 10 or 12 points, usually 12 points. You can see he got quite a good result from the Polish jury, 10 points. He is kind of the male Blanca with maybe subpar vocals, but looking good and a good choreography as well. He got points from Scandinavia and the Nordics, I should say. A little less than I expected because it was a slick pop song, and usually the Nordics like these kinds of songs. Then some points from the Caucasus as well. Let's look at the televote and how Greece voted there. There you have the good old historical 12 points from Greece to Cyprus. He got some points from Romania, Norway, Denmark, and quite a few, and this is not surprising, of course, because he is Australian, 8 points from Australia to Andrew Lambrou, but also quite a few, 8 to be precise, from Armenia. Now let's go to the next country, and that is Croatia. I mean, Let 3 were kind of the most controversial act this year, I would say, and you can see that in the jury vote, lots and lots of red, but also 8 points from the Serbian jury, and Portugal liked it quite a bit as well. I think these are the only 2 countries actually that voted for Croatia in the juries. If we go to the televote, that looks quite different. Look at that. 10 points from Austria, from Serbia, 12 points from Slovenia. And here people could say, it's all neighborhood voting, they are supporting each other, it's friendly voting, political bloc voting. But Let 3 are huge stars on the Balkans, and that's why they got lots of points from Slovenia and Serbia. And of course, there's a big ex-Yugoslav community in Austria as well, so that might explain the 10 points from Austria. Then also some points from Sweden, from Finland, the Baltics, but also Germany, Poland, and Switzerland liked it quite a lot, and also Israel. So yeah, people really liked this performance. It's not that surprising that it got quite a few more points from the televote than from the jury vote, I would say. And that is why they, in the end, came 13th, even though the juries did not really like the song. Next up, we have Armenia. Again, quite an interesting case. They got 10 points from the juries in Albania and Georgia. And then quite a few points, 8 points from Czechia, 7 or 6 points from France and Ireland, and a few points also from Italy and Switzerland. And now if we go to the televote, you can see that France gave Albania 12 points, and so did Georgia. Again, France has a huge Armenian diaspora, so that might have influenced these 12 points. But she also got some points from Greece, Spain, Czechia and Moldova, and also Belgium. Let's go to the next country, and that is Austria. 12 points from the Belgian jury and 10 points from Cyprus, but also from France. I think the French jury this year was really fun because they gave 10 points to Austria and I think 8 points to Finland. So they are quite fun-loving people, the people in the French jury this year, I think. They also got 8 points from Iceland, from Lithuania. So really happy for them that they did this well with the juries. However, in the televote, very red again. I think they were really hurt by the running order position. They were first in the running order. Lots of people hadn't tuned in yet. But that makes it even more impressive that Australia, the people that had to get up very early in the morning, apparently saw the performance and gave it 6 or 7 points. So quite happy that Australia at least got the genius of Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, let's go to the next country, and that is France. I mean, look at the jury votes. Lots of people thought that this would actually challenge Sweden in the jury vote. That did not happen at all. Maybe because of the vocal performance, or maybe the staging was a bit too over the top and maybe tacky. You see lots of red in Central and Eastern Europe, but she got 12 points from Sweden, and then a few points from Spain, from Armenia, from Serbia, from Ireland, very few from the Netherlands and Belgium. She actually did better in the televote, so let's look at that. Again, quite a lot of red, and the rose is 1, 2, or 3 points. But you can see she got 1, 2, or 3 points from quite a few countries. So she actually did quite well, but the system and the point system in Eurovision meant that she didn't actually get lots of televotes because she was in 8th, 9th, 10th place in lots of these countries. I mean, really a lot of these countries, especially in Southeastern Europe, but she also got 10 points from Armenia, from the Armenian televote, and quite a few from Norway as well, 8 points from Norway. Quite surprising to me that France was so popular, either with the jury or the televote in the Nordic countries, but I mean, it is a catchy pop song. Let's go to the next country, and that is poor Spain. People were expecting quite a lot from this, but yeah, didn't quite happen. But she got 10 points from the Portuguese jury, quite a lot of points from the German, Dutch, and Belgian juries. She was also quite successful in the Caucasus and also relatively successful on the Balkans. People were talking about, will an ethnic song from Spain do well in these countries that usually like to also send some ethnic pop or ballads? And at least when we look at the juries, it kind of did. However, and now brace yourselves, when we look at the televote, everything is red except for Portugal. She got 3 points from Portugal and 2 points from the rest of the world votes, or maybe Latin America. But otherwise, the song just didn't convince any televoters except in Portugal and in the rest of the world. Let's look at the next country, and that is Moldova. In the jury, they did quite poorly, but they got quite a few points from Norway, 8 points. And this is also quite extraordinary. Only 6 or 7 points from the Romanian jury, which usually also gives Moldova, 10 or 12 points, and usually 12 points, but not this year. And I think that is a good sign that the juries are not actually that political. It might also mean that Sweden and other countries had amazing songs that really appealed to the juries. But yeah, only 6 or 7 points from Romania to Moldova. And that actually surprises me because the whole performance has lots of folk references that are shared by Moldova and Romania. So I could have imagined something a bit more. But if we look at the televote, you can see that the people in Romania really did like it. So they gave 12 points to Moldova. So did Italy. This might have a bit of a diaspora influence as well. 8 points from France also, and Portugal, and then quite a few points from all over the place, as you can see. Now, let's go to the next country, and that is Poland, baby. That is Poland. You can see the juries. They got 6 or 7 points from Ukraine, and of course, Poland has been at Ukraine's side most since the war began. Lots of Ukrainian refugees live in Poland. Poland has been one of the most vocal supporters of Ukraine. That might have influenced that a bit, but the song is also a hit in Ukraine, actually. Then you have very few points, actually, from Belgium, Romania, and Armenia, and also Israel. And then the rest did not vote for Poland. But if we go to the televote, I mean, this was a hit in Poland, so it makes sense that the Polish diaspora might have heard of it. 12 points, so really a show of support by the Ukrainian people for Poland. Also quite good points from the UK and Ireland, where a few Polish people live, I have been told, and then also from Lithuania. And we have very few points also from Iceland, Norway, and then very few, to be honest, from Belgium, Slovenia, Albania, and Estonia. That is Poland, and you can see here why she did quite well in the televote, actually. 8 from Ireland, UK, Lithuania, and Ukraine, 12 from Ukraine, just helped a lot to lift her a little bit. Next country is Switzerland, another one that is a bit surprising because of his vocal performance and the style of song. I thought this might do a bit better in the juries. He did get quite a few points from all over the place, but lower points. This is a bit like France in the televote. He also did get 10 points from Finland and quite good points from Sweden and the Netherlands. If you look at the televote, again, early running order, but he did get 8 points from Sweden, a bit surprising, and quite good points actually in the Nordics as a whole, in Norway and Denmark, and then honorary Nordic Estonia as well. And quite some points, well, a few points in the Caucasus as well. Let's go to Slovenia, another interesting case. The juries, they got 12 points from Serbia. Again, people might say this is neighborhood voting. It is not. Joker out are big stars in Serbia as well. So 12 points make complete sense. They got good points from Croatia, from Austria, from Czechia, but otherwise not that much. And then in the televote, again, this might look like a regional support vote, 12 from Croatia and 8 from Serbia, but they are stars in the region. And then they got, again, quite a few points from Eastern Europe. Here you see a very clear divide if you want to count Finland as Eastern Europe, that all of their televote points actually came from east of Germany and Austria. That are the televote points from Slovenia. And now let's look at the next country. That is Albania, another very interesting case. Not a lot of love for this from the juries. 8 points from Azerbaijan, 6 or 7 from Romania, but otherwise not a lot. And then if we look at the televote, where they came 10th, you can see lots of votes, 12 points from Switzerland. This was a song about family in Albanian, very Albanian, and there's a huge Albanian community in Switzerland, so 12 points kind of makes sense. Same thing for Germany, where they got 8 points, and Italy, where they got 6 or 7 points, and then also from Greece. And of course, they are also originally from Kosovo, so also people from Kosovo living in these countries might have been touched by the performance quite a lot. Then Portugal, in the juries, they got some love. I thought they might get more, 10 from Greece, 8 from Moldova, and 6 or 7 from Spain. And then again, this is not only true for Eastern European countries, but there are a lot of Portuguese people in France and in Switzerland, and that's where Portugal got its points from, and from Spain. Let's look at Serbia, quite an interesting case. The juries didn't really like this that much. Some points from Croatia, some from Iceland, Germany, Italy, Portugal, and Greece. And in the televote, you can really see that the diaspora didn't really come through for Serbia, and also not that many points from neighbors Slovenia and Croatia. So you can see why he came third to last. There just wasn't enough support in the televote, but also in the juries. Now the UK got some love from the Ukrainian jury, maybe as a bit of a thank you for hosting Eurovision for them. Then also quite some points from the Nordics, from Sweden, Finland, Denmark, and from Ireland. Otherwise, I think not that much. And then in the televote, it turns red. You have 6 points, I think, from Ukraine, and a few points from Malta. You can't quite see that, but these are all the televote points that the UK got. I actually saw that the UK was last in the televote in 18 countries. So the performance really did not impress, even though it came last in the running order and should have had a bit of an advantage. Now let's look at Germany. In the juries, we know that they got 2 points from Iceland, 1 point from Czechia, and in the televote, they did a little bit better. Some points from Finland, from Switzerland and Austria, but otherwise deep, deep red all over Europe. These are my observations about the results in the televote and in the juries for the countries that came 7th to 26th. Let me know if I missed anything or if I interpreted something in a wrong way. Please subscribe to my channel. There will be more videos about Eurovision 2023. And I will also start doing my series on Eurovision history again, so check that out if you're interested, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye-bye.